Okay. I'm very happy to be here with you. The topic that I will cover, I think you are very familiar, but I will look at the GDPR requirements from the different point, because mostly we focus on the protection. We talk about DLP, we talk about encryption. I will touch a bit different requirements related to breaches. What would happen if our DLP, our encryption, our intrusion prevention fails? What to do in this case, and how we can early detect the incident before the security breach. For example, the personally identifiable information would be stolen. How to prepare our organization, what technology, what procedures we can use to be prepared in case our safeguards fail. We should not assume that we will implement the protections that are efficient in 100%. It's not possible. Always the cyber criminals or other malicious entities would find the way to bypass our protections, and any organization that realistically look at security should be or is prepared for the case the safeguards are overcome. I have great pleasure to work for CLICO. CLICO is the company, as you see here, working in Central and Eastern Europe, and my role in organization is management of technical team. At the moment, 35 engineers. Most of the engineers are security consultants, so I will share with you some experience from security audits and designs related to GDPR preparation in case or in scope of incident detection, security breach reporting, and so on. Mandatory incident detection, it's at the moment a requirement of many law acts. It's of course GDPR, but also mandatory incident reporting is a main part of NIS directive that is in all members of European Union implemented this month or enforced this month, and also other regulations like telecom framework and IDAS, they all require mandatory incident reporting. So it is the law requirement, and in good interest of any organization, we should be prepared. We should have tools, organization, people. The difficulty in this law requirement is not only the reporting fact that, for example, we know from press or from external users that the personal data was stolen. We see, for example, in dark web that the personal data of our customers are being sold. It's not only the case that we send the information to national authority. Yes, there was a security breach, and we just inform you. When you look at GDPR, there are detailed description what information should be provided in the report. In 72 hours, the company is obliged to present to the national authority the information like risk analysis, likely consequences of personal data breach, measures taken or proposed to be taken by the controller, it means our organization, to address the personal data breach, and many other information. In 72 hours, it's really difficult to collect all of this information, because this 72 hours could be Sunday, could be holidays. Some of our staff could be on leave that time. For example, in summer holiday season, the security experts could be outside of the organization. So we need some help from the technology. This new kind of technology is based mostly of behavioral analysis and so-called security automation. So the role of security expert is conducted automatically by the tools. It's a very new products that were that are available on the market for 3 years. I think that for most of you, it would be the first time that you see such tools that are very popular at the moment in US, in UK, in other countries, in Poland and in other Central and Eastern Europe. The tools are mostly used by security operation centers because SOC requires automation. Real SOC does not exist without automation. Security Operations Center is not able to work with experts only because they would require, I don't know, 5,000 experts. So automation is the must. And also automation could be used in any organization, especially organization that suffers the lack of security experts, lack of people, because the tools could do much of the time-consuming job of the people. Okay, let's look at the details. The main problem in mandatory incident reporting is so-called long breach detection gap. It means that we do not know that we were hacked. We do not know that there was incident. When you look at reports from FireEye, Microsoft, Trustwave, and many other organizations that analyze the security incidents, we'll see that the time, the median, the average time between incident occurrence and the detection is sometimes longer than 200 days. In 200 days, the intruders could do everything with our systems. And you could ask how it's possible that we have safeguards, we have firewalls, we have antiviruses, we have sandboxes, we invested a lot in the protection, and the intruders could control our systems for so many days without our security staff notifying this. The main reason is that we do not have tools for intrusion detection. Because when we concentrate only on the safeguards, on the protections, like application, database security, endpoint security, network security, it means that the protection is efficient only till it is not bypassed. When the safeguards are bypassed, they are not able to detect incidents. It's very simple explanation. I do not understand sometimes that even the people responsible for security in organizations do not understand this. They, for example, tell that my sandbox, my antivirus, my intrusion prevention system, it is also incident detection system. Absolutely not. If antivirus detects malware or virus, there is no incident. Incident occurs when the antivirus was bypassed. And this antivirus will not tell us that there is incident. If intrusion detection system is able to block the network attack, for example, exploit, there is no incident. It's not serious incident. It's just the information that the attack was blocked. The problem, the real incident, for example, the possible breach of personal data, is possible when in IDS or IPS, intrusion prevention system, was not able to block the attack. For example, it was zero-day attack, and the intrusion prevention system has no signature for this attack. In this case, there is incident, and we do not know that this incident happened because when safeguards are broken, when safeguards are bypassed, they would not inform us that incident happened. So what tools we have, how we can, what technology, what tools we can utilize to detect incidents? We can use so-called threat intelligence. But threat intelligence is efficient only for the known attacks, for known botnets, for known malware, because it's information about the location of so-called watering holes, the websites attacking us, and command and controls, the computers used by cyber criminals to control the botnets. If it is new campaign, if it is dedicated campaign for our organization, threat intelligence has little usage because it's new. There is no information in threat intelligence databases. We can use behavioral analytics, and there are two main technologies. One is called UEBA, User and Entity Behavior Analytics. For example, Exabeam offers such tools, ForcePoint offers such tools, and I will not about UEBA. I will tell you about the second technology that is, I think, more simpler. It is simplest and also very effective. It is called network behavior analysis. It is based on network analysis, create the profiles of normal behavior of users, normal behavior of servers, and other elements of the network, and looking at the anomalies, deviations, inform us that probably this system is in the hands of cyber criminals because such activity was noticed, and this activity did not happen before. So it looks in the past, and also look at the behavior of entity in comparison to other entities. For example, we have the computers in one group, and if one computer behaves differently, it is the signal for the security administrator something could be wrong with this particular computer. So let's look into the details. We can also consider SIEM as the tool that could be used for incident detection. To tell you the truth, if you ask not managers, but the operators of SIEM, they will inform you that for at least 5 years, SIEM did not detect any incident. Because SIEM was invented, I don't know, 15 years ago. There are manually written correlation rules like here, IP address is that, port number is that, packet size is that. And in this way, current malware would not be detected. So SIEM is a very, very expensive log server, nothing else. For many years, SIEM did not detect any incidents. SIEM technology, by the way, is migrating or evolving into UEBA, User and Entity Behavior Analytics, and very soon all SIEM vendors would be not SIEM but UEBA. But in some organizations still they invest money in useless incident detection system like SIEM. Threat intelligence. Threat intelligence is very useful source of information for known threats, but it requires extremely hard work of experts. Because IP addresses, hashes of malware, domain names could be retrieved automatically, could be analyzed automatically by any safeguards. Even next generation firewall can do it. Sandbox could look at threat intelligence databases, but real valuable information like tools, like artifacts, the evidence that the cyber criminals live in IT systems, tactics, procedures used by cyber criminals, it requires very hard, long time work of security experts. You could answer yourself if you have in your organization so many experts willing to dig inside the threat intelligence. In most cases, the companies are not able to use threat intelligence in full scope. What the security analysts suggest? For example, Gartner, for I think 3 years, suggests implementing so-called adaptive security architecture. Adaptive security architecture means that we have protections, and also we have the detection tools like behavioral analytics, tools to respond, or the security staff prepared to respond to incident, and also predict the incidents using vulnerability management, threat management, analysis of trends, risk analysis, and so on, especially automatically conducted risk analysis. Oops. Very short overview of the tool functionality. It is a very new tool. New tool in our, let's say, region, because behavioral analytics is used by American companies, by security operations centers for at least 4 or 5 years, because there is no other possibility to detect incidents practically. The tool is called FlowMon, anomaly detection system. As it's presented here, it's based on network behavior analysis. How it works? It retrieves flows from network devices, from switches, routers, and other network devices. There is the flow controller, and on the flow controller there is some based on mathematical calculation or statistical calculation, some algorithms. The algorithms are looking at the computer's users' behavior and detect the anomalies. If the number of anomalies is high enough, we are informed that probably the computer is in the hands of cyber criminals. We very easily can verify it because we see the information, the DNS connection that should not happen, the connection to domain controller that should never occur in this network. So it's very easy to verify if the computer is used by legitimate users or there is someone else on this computer. There are many analytical algorithms used in FlowMon, machine learning, adaptive baselining, heuristics, behavioral patterns, and also threat intelligence. The implementation of the tool is extremely easy. Normally, we need only one virtual machine, that is a FlowMon controller, and on network devices, we just send flows to this controller. Everything else is done automatically. There is no need for security administrator to manually design, implement, test any correlation rules. Everything is done automatically because it's based on the behavioral analytics. There is machine learning inside, supervised and unsupervised machine learning. And if for some reason we are not able to retrieve flows from network switches, for example, we have some very old network switches that are not able to send flows, we can use the probe. We can install the virtual machine or a hardware device in the network, connect it to the span port or use the network tab, and we can retrieve network traffic and analyze it. Everything is sent to controller, and on the controller or the, directly speaking, FlowMon flows collector, there are algorithms, mathematical algorithms, machine learning, behavioral analytics, and so on. And as a result, we got the clear information what bad happened in the system. And in most cases, it is the work of cyber criminals or malware controlled by cyber criminals. So we can use hardware elements or virtual machines. There is embedded threat intelligence inside. So we have access to threat intelligence in FlowMon, but everything is done automatically. We have only the results of the analysis. Visualization of evidence to easily understand what happened, what bad behavior was notified in particular system. Everything is virtualized. We see the actions, we see the connections, we are able to very quickly analyze what bad happened. One major differentiator of network behavioral analysis is the ability to look in the area where nobody is looking. Cyber criminals are very smart. If this computer, for example, is infected, the malware would do only the activities, the bad activities, on the access switch. Would be scanning the other computers only in the proximity network, in the closed network. Would not attack any other systems, would not do any scanning outside the closely connected network. Why? Because firewalls would not see it, because intrusion prevention system would not see it, because sandboxes would not see it. Cyber criminals are smart. The only solution available at the moment is network behavior analysis that is able to detect it. Because NBA, for example, Flowmon, looks also at access switches and see exactly what the computers are doing in the closely connected network. So in this way, we are able to find that the malware is scanning the other systems, the malware is trying to attack the other systems in the close proximity, and so on. Oops. Identity, user identity awareness. From the Active Directory, Flowmon could retrieve the information about users that are logged on particular computers, and in the alerts about detected incidents, we have clear information what is the user of particular computer, where probably the malware exists and conducted particular malicious activities. It is done in a very typical way. The Flowmon connects to Active Directory and retrieves this information. If the incident is detected, Flowmon runs the full packet capture. So we have the live evidence, what happened. The packets related to the incident is stored, and we can look inside. Of course, if the packets are encrypted, we do not see what is inside. But if the cyber criminals do not encrypt the packets, for example, stealing personal data, we see what kind of personal data was stolen. And it is automatically retrieved. Exporting to other systems using syslog, SNMP, it's typical functionality. We can have the Security Operations Center or CERT that is enriched with the information sent by Flowmon. Okay, it is one part of the, let's say, activities related to incident management. Incident is detected. What else? We should manage the incident. Containment, it is the activity where we should isolate the computer that was compromised, that the threat would not spread to other systems. Eradication, we should delete or reinstall the system. Recovery, root cause analysis, we should find the problem source. We should analyze how to enrich, how to improve the security. Lessons learned, we should inform other people about the results of our analysis, how we can benefit from this incident, how we can prepare for more severe incidents in the future. What to do to automate this process? Because normally it also requires a lot of work. It also requires experts. Gartner and other security analysts suggest us using automated risk management. That the risk management is conducted not by people in Microsoft Excel, but is conducted by tools automatically. I will present you how Flowmon could be automated using the other tool that is called SecureVisio. SecureVisio, it is a product of Polish company. It's used by some security operations centers. One of the biggest security operations center in Poland is using SecureVisio as a platform. You see the internal elements of SecureVisio, and you see that there is the analytics for GDPR, and also the main part is automated business impact analysis and automated risk assessment. And some other tools, for example, there is next generation CM inside, there is network behavior analysis inside. And this system could be very easily integrated with any incident detection system, particularly Flowmon. How it's done for personally identifiable information. For example, you would like to be informed that IT systems processing personal data were compromised, and you do not want to wait for 200 days. You would like to know it from, let's say, 2 minutes or 20 seconds after the incident happened. If you have efficient incident detection system like Flowmon based on advanced behavioral analytics, you can easily detect that bad activities were conducted in the system, and probably the system is in the hands of cyber criminals. But such incidents could be, let's say, 100 a day. But you would like to know which one is related to personally identifiable information. In Secure Visio, there is electronic documentation that is compliant with GDPR. So you have the data sets defined in the documentation. And in the data sets, you also have the categories of personal data. If it is name, surname, email address, and some other more sensitive information. It is the requirement of GDPR. And how you can automate it? When Flowmon detects the incidents, for example, you have the IT system where you see the huge transfer of data. And this kind of huge transfer never happened before. You have the new protocol in the network between particular IP addresses. And this network protocol was never used before. Anomaly in network behavior of the system. Port scanning. If the computer is scanning other computers, and if the computer is not an audit station, probably it is malware scanning the system. If the computer is scanning ICMP, scanning the network ports of all the IP addresses in a particular subnet, in most cases, it is malware. DNS tunneling, also malware. Unknown DNS requests, malware. Threat intelligence access, for example, access to command and control. All these alerts are sent to Secure Visio. And the Secure Visio conducts automatic business impact analysis and risk assessment. So for example, if the port scanning was detected in particular IP address, it is application server 02. The business impact analysis automatically informs us that on that particular IT system, the business impact analysis, the consequences of the incident could be the following. Disruption of an important business process, the sales, because sales is supported by this IT system, and the leakage of sensitive data, personal data and intellectual property. Then we click at personal data, and from GDPR documentation, we know that it is the information about potential clients, that categories of personal data are following, and the consequences. The data protection impact assessment informs us about the consequences. The consequences would be discrimination, economic or social damage, exposing family and friends to common attacks of cyber criminals like spam, phishing, exposing people to common attacks of cyber criminals, and so on. It's based on automatic assessment based on the categories of personal data. And you could ask who would provide this information to this tool? For example, someone in the organization responsible for GDPR, because GDPR requires us to have the documentation of data sets and information about categories. Also the information about related purposes of data processing. The purpose of data processing is retrieved from the business process that requires the processing of personal data. So everything should be in the documentation. If this documentation is in electronic form, all the other processes, the security management processes like business impact analysis, like risk assessment, could be done automatically. And in 1 second, we have the information about incident and the possible consequences. So using behavioral analysis, we can detect the incident, and using Secure Visio, we can automatically assess the potential malicious impact. Okay, just to summarize, if we would like to be prepared fully for GDPR, there are some areas. There is the law area, there is the protections area, the organization area, and also there is very important area of incident detection and mandatory reporting of security breaches. It's better to avoid security breaches, it's better to detect incidents as soon as possible. And using new kind of behavioral analysis, very easily we can detect the computers that are in the hands of cyber criminals. And using the security automation, we can be automatically, even in 1 second, informed that particular computer processing personal data with particular categories of personal data is in the hands of cyber criminals, and we should do something to avoid the breach, avoid the situation when cyber criminals recognize the system, find personal data, and steal it from our company. That's all from my side. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.